everyone, welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I am bringing you my manga wrap-up for the months of October and November. You'll probably notice that I didn't post a wrap-up for October. That is because I did a lot of series thoughts videos on the things that I was reading, as well as manga first impressions videos. So there weren't too many titles that I read that I didn't do a video on, so I didn't think that a wrap-up would be necessary. So I just thought that I would combine it with what I read in November. But now, looking at the list that I have of the mangas that I have read, it's kind of long. But that's okay. We'll just go over it. For those series that I have done specific videos for, I will let you know, and I won't be wrapping those up here, but I will link those videos down in the description box below, and so you can go check those out and see what I thought of those titles. Anyway, let's get into it. The first few volumes that I read were from Honey So Sweet. This one is by Amu Meguro, and I read volumes 1 through 7. This is a 8-volume manga series, so I've got one more volume to go and I haven't read it yet. But I do plan on doing a series thoughts video when I am done with it. This series is about a sweet high school romance between Nao and Taiga. Taiga has what is perceived as a scary outward appearance. However, he is a sweetheart inside. It's kind of the journey of how Nao realizes this and the progression of their relationship with each other. I'm really enjoying this series. It's super cute. Lots of blushing. I did read this as part of the Fall Into Manga Love Readathon that was hosted by Shay over at Shay Geeks Out. And this is one of her favorite series. She gushes about it quite a bit. I'm glad I finally got to it, though I really should finish it soon. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this series wraps up. But it is very cute. Like I said, lots of blushing, very sweet, a very innocent romance. The next thing I read was Phantom Tales of the Night, Volume 1 by Matsuri. We read this as part of my In Real Life manga club. I did do a manga first impressions video on this one about the mysterious innkeeper who trades sanctuary for secrets. So I'll link the video that I've done on this one down in the description box below. We also read the first volume of Missions of Love by Emma Toyama. I have also done a manga first impressions video on this one, covering volumes 1, 2, and 3. That one is about a girl named Yukina, and she is perceived as an ice queen by her classmates because she has kind of an icy gaze. Little do they know that she is the popular cell phone novelist that they're all obsessed with. She overhears her classmates talking about the fact that they'd like to see some romance in her novel, but Yukina has no experience in that department. That's why she doesn't write about it. However, because her fans are asking for it, she kind of looks for a way to put this into her series. So she happens upon some dirt in regards to the most popular boy in school, and basically blackmails him into kind of giving her the experiences she needs in order to be able to write some romance into her novel by having him do like missions, like hold my hand, walk me home from school, kind of things like that. It's a really fluffy read for me. I am enjoying it. And yeah, my first impressions on the first 3 volumes is down in the description box below if you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts on that. So we also read volumes 9 and 10 in October of Ouran High School Host Club, and we read volumes 11 and 12 in November. This is our like series read for our manga club, and it's a reread for me, as at least as far as this goes, this point in the series goes. I'm sure you all know what this series is about, so I won't waste time telling you again. This one's by Bisco Hattori. I am enjoying it. It's super fun. I do find that this particular series lends itself to a lot more reading. I feel like I read these volumes a lot slower, and I'm not sure if it's because I am like trying to pay more attention while I'm reading, or if it's just because it's text heavy. But like I said, I'm still really enjoying this series, and we should be finishing up our series read of this in February. So that's exciting because I did not finish reading the series the first time I started it. So I think in the next couple volumes I'll be up to where I stopped the first time. So yeah. Then I started reading for the Manga Freakathon, which was hosted by my friend Bazaar over at Bazaar Individual, Aisha from Mama Loves Manga, and Danny over at the Panda Post. I'll link them all down in the description box as well, so you can check those wonderful people out. This readathon was at the end of October, and I did an impromptu buddy read of Vampire Dormitory, Volume 1 by Emma Toyama, who is also the mangaka behind Missions of Love. I did this buddy read with Danny over at the Panda Post. This is a Kodansha Digital First title, and it follows a girl named Mito, and this series is marketed as a BL-esque romance, and that is because Mito disguises herself as a boy. She is an orphan. She does have family that is living, however, for reasons that you're told in the first volume, she is living on the street, and to help protect herself from possible assault, she disguises herself as a boy. Well, life really is handing her a carton of lemons. It's not very easy for her at all. At the beginning of this volume, she is fired from her job for being too attractive and bringing in lots of girls to her place of employment, when it's supposed to be like a man's cafe or something like that. It should be only men. Anyway, some dumb reason like that. So she ends up running into a like butler cafe, I think that's what it's called, looking for a job. But she quickly realizes that that's not the place for her. She runs into a vampire, and he offers her something that she just can't pass up. He offers her a roof over her head and protection if she becomes his thrall. This basically means that she becomes his food source in exchange for these things. He obviously doesn't know that she's a girl. He thinks that she's a boy, and he's actually been looking for a male to become his thrall because of some past things that have happened to him. The other hiccup is that Mito's blood is pretty disgusting to him. This was pretty entertaining. The art style, I really enjoy the art style. It's one of the reasons why I started reading Missions of Love. I can't remember the vampire's name. Obviously, it's been a couple months since I read it, but he has some quirks that I thought were pretty hilarious. I do feel like the plot is pretty predictable, but I'm looking forward to see if this goes somewhere I don't expect it to. But yeah, I really enjoyed my buddy read with Danny, and I'm looking forward to getting more in this series. I do think I'm going to put it on hold though until I'm done with Missions of Love, just because I don't like to read series by the same mangaka in tandem with each other. And I'm already further along in Missions of Love as it is, that I'd really want to finish that one before I get into this one any further. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. The next thing I read was Corpse Party, Omnibus 1. This one is by Makoto Kedoin. This one follows a group of students who get transported into another dimension or several dimensions where they're in the fight for their lives. This was a series that I had been saving for October to read. Unfortunately, I only got to Omnibus 1 because I had several volumes due back to the library that I really needed to get read for other series so that I could return them. And so that kind of knocked my plans off course. But I did end up reading the first omnibus. It was really interesting. It's very violent. There is a depiction of a suicide in this omnibus, so just so you are aware, it is very bloody as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing like what the specter is that's going after these kids and what the reason is for it. But it's very interesting, and I'm looking forward to more. So then I read Grand Guignol Orchestra, volumes 2 through 5. I do have a series thoughts video on this one. This one's by Kaori Yuki. It was my first series by this mangaka. I did enjoy it, but to hear more of my thoughts on this series, check out the video down in the description box below. I followed that up with volumes 6 to 11 of Ghost Hunt. This one's by Shiho Inada, and it is an adaptation of a light novel by Fuyumi Ono. This one follows a group of paranormal investigators as they go about working cases of the paranormal sort. I do have a series thoughts video on this series, as well as some talk about the anime adaptation of it as well. Video is down in the description bar in case you're interested. But yeah, I really enjoyed that series, both the anime and the manga. So that completes all of the manga that I had read for the mangafreakathon. And then in November, I read Soul Eater, Volume 1. This one's by Atsushi Okubo. This one was our selection for our in-life manga club. And it's about Maka, who is a weapons meister, and she has her weapon, who's a scythe named Soul. And in this series, the weapons kind of manifest themselves as humans as well. And it is her goal to turn him into the most powerful death scythe, and in order to do this, Soul needs to reap 99 human souls and the soul of a witch. I think that's what it is. It also kind of follows a couple of other meisters, weapon meisters, and some other like enemies that pop up, I believe, during the series. I did watch this anime a while ago. I don't quite remember it, but in the first volume you do get introduced to not only Maka but Black Star, who is another weapons meister, and Death the Kid. And those are the three like central weapons meisters that I remember following throughout the anime. This one, I ended up thinking it was okay. Like I said, I did watch the anime, but I don't quite remember a lot of it. There is quite a bit of nudity that I didn't remember, and I don't know if it's because when you're watching it in anime form, the nudity isn't focused on, or if they're more covered up than I remember, but in the manga, there's a lot of it. And because there are younger teens in my group, like 15-year-olds, when we came across that, I was very concerned. This is rated for older teen, but yeah, there was a lot more nudity than I had expected. And it's not like detailed nudity. Like, the people who are nude are the weapons or the witch. And they're not really like human, so it's more like Barbie doll nude, but it still was disturbing. If I was just reading this for myself, it wouldn't have bothered me so much, but because I was reading it with younger teens, it did bother me on a motherly level. It did actually lend itself to some really good discussion in our group, so that was a good thing. But yeah, because I was reading it for our group, I ended up not enjoying it as much as I probably would have if I was just reading it for myself. I do plan on collecting this one when it comes out in the collector's editions or the special editions from Square Enix next year. But again, I don't like to read series by the same mangaka at the same time, and I am further along in Fire Force, and I am enjoying that one a lot much more than my initial impression of Soul Eater. So I'm going to continue with Fire Force first. But yeah. So the next one we read was Ghostly Things. This one's by Ushio Shirotori. This one follows a girl who moves into a haunted house. She ends up living there on her own because her dad is off looking for something or on a mission for something. But he tasks her with looking through the house for a Book of the Dead. And as she goes about her search, she also encounters the spirits that inhabit the house. She ends up making friends with some of them. And at the end of the volume, you find out that she's not the only one looking for this Book of the Dead. I did enjoy this one. This one is rated teen. I thought the different yokai that we were introduced to were very interesting. And some of the things she learns about them were interesting. I'm looking forward to getting into more of this series as it comes out. And I really enjoyed it. So the last few volumes that I read were volumes 4 through 10 of He's My Only Vampire by Aya Shoto. I'm thinking I want to do a series thoughts video on this one. Just because I did read it pretty much back to back. I read volumes 1, 2, and 3 in September, I think. And I ended up binge reading volumes 4 through 10 in like the matter of a few hours, just because I had extended my hold on them from the library too long and they absolutely had to go back. So this one follows a girl named Kana who had a trauma in her past, but seems to be living her life happily. She is a high school student, and one day she gets hit by a car only to be saved from death by her childhood friend named Aki. It turns out Aki is a vampire, and in saving her, he makes her his thrall, which connects her to him for eternity. And Aki is on a mission to obtain the 7 stigmas in order to save his brother. Now that Kana is by his side, it's become a dangerous game because there are other people who are looking for the stigmas, as the stigmas give them power. So the more stigmas you have, the more power you have, etc. So it follows them going through and obtaining these stigmas, finding out who has them, and obtaining them. I did enjoy this series. The art style is gorgeous. This is the first series that I've completed by this mangaka, though I did start The Demon Prince of Momochi House a very long time ago, like years ago, but I only read the first couple volumes, but I never continued it. I heard about He's My Only Vampire from Lita over at Lita Kino. She's no longer on YouTube, but she is active on Instagram and Twitter, so I'll leave links to her down in the description box below. She had started reading this one, and it looked interesting to me. I hadn't read a vampire one in a while, which is why I had started it. She and I tend to like similar things, so I figured I would enjoy this series, and I did. I don't believe that binging through it in a couple hours, though, was the right thing to do. And I do probably need to reread this one in the future. There were things that I was confused with. Some things didn't quite make sense to me, but I do feel like volumes 1, 2, and 3 kind of had a different feel to it than the rest of the series. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I read the first 3 volumes a month before I read the rest of the series, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm thinking of doing a series thoughts video on this one, so if you'd be interested in that, let me know. But that completes all of the manga that I read in October and November. I know these videos tend to get a bit long, especially if I'm giving a synopsis of each series. But for like really popular series like Ouran High School Host Club, let me know if you'd still like me to go ahead and give the synopsis for those series, because I feel like, especially because I've been reading Ouran over the last few months, every time I'm doing a video like this, I end up telling you what it's about, and I don't know if that's helpful or not. Like, it is a popular series. It's an old series. I feel like a lot of people know what it's about, but I feel like maybe there's people that don't, so I'm kind of torn about giving series synopsis on series that I perceive are popular. So yeah, that's something I've been thinking about for a while. But let me know your thoughts on that, because that would be helpful to me. And yeah, links to all of the people I mentioned, as well as the series that I've done individual videos on, as far as manga first impressions videos or series thoughts videos, are all linked down in the description box below. I do try to write written series reviews for series that I complete on Goodreads, so I do have written reviews as well on my blog for those series, so that is also linked down in the description box below. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope you're all doing great, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!